Hey Manna Church, and good morning. I am Samuel Fletcher, the director of our Manna Students Lane, and this week I want to share with you some points from the Book of Proverbs that have helped me navigate through life and the obstacles so many of us face. Growing up, my father, Michael Fletcher, would sit all of his children down in the living room and read to us from the Book of Proverbs. When he finished the chapter for that day, he would have each of us pick a verse that stood out to each of his children, and we would explain why it stood out to us. We called it Wisdom Search. Well, this week I want to share with you some of the wisdom that my father imparted to me through the Book of Proverbs. Our first verse is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. We're often quick to express the importance of wisdom, but we can forget from where it comes. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But what is the fear of the Lord? It's easy to remember when you memorize 3 R's. Recognize that God rewards obedience, but he brings retribution on disobedience. All wisdom starts with recognizing that God is going to reward us for living his way, but he'll have to discipline us if we choose our own path. After understanding this truth and walking it out, we can begin to comprehend and internalize more of what God has for us. Why is that? Well, it's because the fear of the Lord is the foundation that all wisdom is built off of. God wants to communicate the priority that obedience is. When we obey, we're protected from the consequences of disobedience. When we obey, we're safely walking the path that God has laid out for us in the light instead of stumbling in the darkness of disobedience. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verses 22 through 23 say this. Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. First and foremost, God wants us to obey. And when we obey, we are open to receive blessing and favor from God both in this life and in the one to come. Manna, thank you so much for listening, and join me tomorrow for more points from Proverbs. See you then.